In this tutorial, we are going to look at the introduction to DOM manipulation. Secondly, we'll look at selecting and manipulating elements. Then we create a shopping cart. We learn how to add items to the cart. And then we update the cart total, followed by removing items from the cart. All right, so let's look at what we are building. I have a simple online shopping page created here. Nothing fancy. We have a laptop and the product section. There's a phone here. There's headphones as well. With each of the products, there is a price, and then there's a button for each for the users to be able to add to cart. So if you look below the product, we have this is not the ideal way of doing it, but for this tutorial purposes, we are just going to keep it things simple. So this is our cart, our shopping cart, and this is where we are going to um, kind of put the prices and the total of our shopping items that we add to the cart. Yeah, so we are going to display them below here. And so when I click on add to cart, this laptop and the price shows gets added to the cart, and then I click the second one, it gets added, and then this total is being summed up here. Let's add one more item, which is the headphone. So $900 for the laptop, $500 for the phone, $100 for the headphones, and so the total is $1,500. So and I can also choose to remove an item, and then it calculates on the fly, and we have $600 correctly being displayed here. If I remove everything, then we go back to $0. Now let's add one. Let's try this again. Headphones, headphones. So three times it has been added, and we have a total as $300. So this is to show that our program is working uh, correctly. So let's dive into the code and see what we are doing. Okay, so we have an HTML code here. This is an existing project, and then I created a shop.html. I also added a shop.js, which is with I don't want to include a lot of JavaScript code here. I want it to appear very simple and modular. So I decided to split the files. I have the JavaScript file different from the HTML file, and then as you can see from here, we are linking the file here. This is the source. This is the script tag, and here's the source, and this is the name of the file that we are going to use in our JavaScript. And so there's nothing much here in the shop.html. We only have a heading, we have a product list div, and then we have the shopping cart, which we displayed here. I beg your pardon, yeah, here, and then um, a paragraph with the total in it, and then the total price of ID in the span element. Okay, so now let's take a look at the shop.javascript. First of all, we have to create a product that we can add to our page, or the products that we can display in the online shop. And so this is a mock data that I created. So we have we declared a variable as product and of type array, and then within the array there are objects within the array. So if you see the first item, it has an ID, has a name. The object has a name, which is laptop price, and then the value. There's a thumbnail, which holds the value for the images. So the thumbnail holds the path to the images that are included here in my assets. My assets folder, I have headphone.w the web WBP format, and then I have a laptop image, have a phone image as well. So that's how come um, Yeah, that's how come we are displaying the images. And so these are the products. You have the laptop, the phone, the headphones. You can add more or reduce, remove some, whichever way you want it to be. And so when we go to this line, the cart array to store our added products, this is the cart array. Yeah, this is the cart array, which we are going to use to store the added products, added items. So when we click on the add cart, we add the item, this currently selected item to that array. And so you see it in motion. You've seen it in motion as we were demonstrating. So on this line, we select the image elements. So we have a variable here, const of product list, and then document.get element by ID product list. This is where the DOM has started working, and we are getting this ID from the HTML. So product list is the ID from this element, and we bind it to this variable here, and then cut items. We also look for the cut items here, which is a UL element for displaying our list items. And then we also have a total price. So the total price also is here for the pricing. And so we've selected these three elements here, and then we have them in as these variables. And so now let's look at how we can display the product. Yes, because if for instance I comment this out, and then I reload the page, there's no item, there's no product on the page. There's no way we are going to show there's no way we are going to see items on the page, because the HTML that is being displayed here doesn't include hard-coded values of the product or the list of product catalog. And so this is the function that we use to display the our product onto the page. So let's take a look at the function and what we are doing inside the function. So we declare the function keyword, then the name of the function as display products, and then we call products dot for each. For each means for each is a loop. In JavaScript, we have the concept of loops, and when you want to iterate over items, objects, or items, you use loops. There are for loops. There are for each loop, and then there are other the other functions or inbuilt methods that can be used to loop over items. In this case, we are using for each. So this is product, and if you can guess, this product is from this. This is the product that we define here. If we delete this product or we rename it, we can't uh, we can't find it here to loop over. And so this is the product, and this is where we are using the product. We have the product all in an array, and then we want to use the product here. This is where we want to display the product, and so we are going to iterate over the product. And then the for each keyword, or the for each loop is going to run over each item one after the other, and then one for each of them is going to run a function. And so this is an argument or a parameter, which is it takes the product. There is also an index and other ones, but this is the product that we are taking. So products, and then when it loops over the first item, it's a product. So this is where the value of the first item is going to be, and when it goes to the second item, it's going to hold the second item as well. When it goes to the third, it's going to hold the third item as well. So we kind of get the idea. And then on this line, we have a temporary variable, which is a product div here inside the loop. And then on this line, we are creating an HTML element. So document.create element div, meaning we are creating a div item here, and then when we come to this line, we stick a class list on it onto the div. So we create a div here, and then we stick a class list on it, and then we call it div. We call it the class product. So when we look here, let me run this. Um, I want to run this. This is the product. This is the element that was created using the JavaScript. This, if you pay attention here, if you look through this code, you're not going to see any product class. There's no class name here as a product. And so this is being done in the JavaScript. And so we create the div on this line, and then we add a class to the name. We name the class of the div as product, and then on this line we insert some children or child element into the div that we created here. So you create it, you give it a class name, and then you reference the dot inner HTML attributes, and then you can create another HTML element, which is image. Is going to, for each of the items, we are going to have images, the name, the price, and then the button. So this is how it's going to work. Um, the image is going to have its own attributes: the height, the width, the source of the image. Source of the image is being derived from the array. If you remember, once we are iterating over the product array, and we get the product here, this thumbnail is present in in this product part. So we can just access it as product.thumbnail, and then it's going to spit out this. It's going to give us the value of this thumbnail, and then it will insert it on the fly dynamically. It's going to just insert the current image or the current thumbnail of the current product. Okay, and so if you see all this dollar sign and curly braces, they are just to escape. They are just to escape all these uh, quotes, to escape the quotes, and then to display the variable. This is a variable that we are inputting here, so that's how can we put it. And then the alt, we put the product on name as the alt. And then when it comes to header, the heading, which is the name of the product, in this case laptop, we access product.name. So this is the product, and the dot annotation is just taking the how do you call it, the key as name. So if you remember, if you look here, we have name, the name key of this product object. So on this first one, if I request for product.name, I'm going to get laptop. If I request product.name on the second one, I'm going to get phone. If I request product.name on the third one, I'm going to get headphones. So you get the idea. And similarly for the price, product.price is going to hold the prices for each product. And then the buttons as well, we are sticking uh, a method here, a function here on the onClick attribute. So when we click on the button, we want to call this add cart. So this is the add cart, and then it takes a parameter of product.id. So if you want to add the item, what item do you want to add? The ID determines the item that you've clicked on or you are going to add at a specific time. So let's kind of look at take a look at the add to cart. So we defined the function here as add to cart, and then the product ID as a parenthesis in the parentheses. Sorry, in the as a parameter. So uh, on this line we have the product dot find. This find is a function or a method that is used to find items from an array. It's going to look through all the products, um, the product the product array, and then find this ID. So what it's kind of doing here, it takes this argument as p, and then this arrow function is just pointing towards the p dot id. This p holds the product, the current product, and then it has the id. So the current product dot id, the first one is going to be 1, and then it's going to match if the current product is equal to this product id. So if it returns true, it's going to return an array. It's going to return an object of the item you clicked. But if it returns false, that means it cannot be found. So it brings us to this line. Whatever value you get here, if one if one is the product ID, it returns one, which is laptop. So that object is being returned here, and then you want to push. You reference this empty cat, and then you push it inside. So cat dot push is just pushing um, this product into the cat. So if this returns one, if this returns the one, which is laptop, is going to push the laptop object into this cat array. I beg your pardon. And then we call update cat. So this is update cat, and you can see cat items dot inner html has been initialized, but there is nothing in. So the point is we are clearing the previous items. So yeah, let total equals 0, and it's kind of we are initializing the total of the cat beforehand, and then cat dot for each. Here we are running the for each again. So this arrow function is taken in the parameter of item and then the index. So brings us to this line: total plus equals what? Item dot price. So whatever the total is, you're going to add the current item price to it. So for instance, if we had 100 already as the total, we are going to add um, the current item total to the 100. If it's 0, we are just going to add the current item total to the 0, and it will return the value. So on this line, it's creating an li element, document.create element li, which is a list item, and then in the li element, in the li dot inner html equals, we are displaying, this is a string. We are going to get the item dot name and then the item dot price, and then we stick a remove button to onto the list item, and on that remove button, we we reference the remove from cart function, which is also being displayed here, which has been also defined here. And function remove from cart takes the index, and then the cart dot splice index, it takes the index and then 1, the limit. So this line, we are simply just removing an item from the cart, and then we call update cart again. So that's the whole point of this thing. I hope this wasn't so confusing after all. If there are any questions that you have about this tutorial, let's have your opinion in the comment section, and I'm going to make this code available in the description section on GitHub, and anyone can download it and then study it. So yeah, that's kind of the end of this. Please share this video, like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment.